Hey, this is Economic Bay's digital avatar, and while he is on the charts, doing business deals, and having consulting sessions with our clients, I'm here to deliver this information. Today, October 22nd, 2025, we're talking about something critical. Bitcoin is trading around $108,000 after experiencing volatility throughout October. XRP is consolidating near $2.38 as the market awaits massive ETF decisions, and tokenized real-world assets are emerging as the next trillion-dollar frontier. But here's what most people miss. None of this matters if you don't have the fundamentals right. Your purpose, your passion, your preparation. The markets will do what they do. But successful people, people who build real wealth and genuine relationships, they understand something deeper. They understand that the energy you bring to the market, to your business, to your relationships is what determines your outcomes. Let's break it all down. Let me give you the facts on what's happening today in the crypto markets because understanding context is part of preparation. Bitcoin's October reality check. Bitcoin is experiencing its worst October since 2015, down 5% month to date and trading near $107,000. The historical average for October is around 19.8% gains, with November typically being Bitcoin's strongest month at 42%. This has caught many traders off guard who expected October to deliver the usual rallies. Bitcoin recently stabilized near $108,000, $110,000 after fluctuating between $109,000 and $125,000 over the past week, with Bitcoin having set a new all-time high above $125,000 earlier this month. Bitcoin slid below $105,000 on Friday, with veteran analysts arguing that October's downturn could be setting the stage for another historic rebound, similar to late 2020 when Bitcoin traded around $12,000 before surging 170% in a single quarter. Technical indicators show 9 technical analysis indicators signaling bullish signals and 21 signaling bearish signals, with RSI at 41.85 indicating a neutral market position. Some analysts predict Bitcoin could climb to $115,000 and $118,000 if support above $108,000 holds, with potential extension to $120,000, $123,000 by late quarter. Others are more cautious, warning of potential drops. XRP, waiting for the ETF catalyst. Now, XRP is where things get extremely interesting. Final SEC decisions are due on 8 XRP ETF applications from major asset managers like Grayscale, WisdomTree, and Franklin Templeton between October 18th and 25, with these firms overseeing more than $8 trillion in assets under management. XRP is currently trading near 231 or 235, down about 4% and struggling to hold above key exponential moving averages. But here's the opportunity. Analysts estimate that $5 billion of inflows in the first year could be enough to double XRP's market cap, potentially pushing the token toward the $5 mark, with sustained inflows potentially propelling XRP into double-digit territory for the first time in history. Large holders, whales, bought 900 million XRP tokens in 48 hours, with over 300,000 wallets now holding 10,000 plus XRP, which is a record. This suggests institutional conviction despite the price correction. The tokenization revolution. Here's what's transformative. According to a report by Ripple and Boston Consulting Group published in April, there's an opportunity in the cryptocurrency sector worth around $19 trillion by 2033 through tokenizing real-world assets onto blockchains, with only an estimated $600 billion of those assets currently tokenized in 2025. Asset managers using blockchains to track and trade their assets can potentially do so with lower costs, faster speeds, less red tape, and fewer intermediaries compared to traditional methods. Boston Consulting Group forecasts that by 2030, tokenized assets could account for 10% of global GDP. This is a massive shift in how value moves globally. Digital asset management companies are now launching innovative plans for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP, with the rise of decentralized finance, blockchain technology, and tokenized investments driving global demand for secure and professionally managed crypto portfolios to an all-time high. Why purpose matters more than price. Now, here's what I need you to understand. These market movements, They're noise compared to what really determines success. You can be perfectly positioned in the market and still fail if you lack three things: purpose, passion, and preparation. Purpose, your North Star. Purpose is your why. It's what keeps you grounded when Bitcoin drops from $126,000 to $104,000 in a matter of days. It's what prevents you from panic selling when XRP consolidates before a potential ETF approval. Purpose is what separates investors from gamblers. People without purpose chase every pump. They react emotionally, they sell low and buy high because they're driven by fear and greed rather than conviction. People with purpose, they have a plan, they understand their goals, they know why they're building wealth in the first place. Is it for family security, for generational wealth, for freedom, for impact? When you have purpose, the volatility doesn't shake you. You're not checking charts every 5 minutes. You're building systems, making informed decisions, and staying committed to your long-term vision. On-chain data shows strong net accumulation among smaller Bitcoin holders since early October, even as prices slid, with veteran analysts noting that every prior bull cycle included periods where sentiment felt dead before major outperformances. That's purpose-driven accumulation. Passion, your sustainable fuel. Passion is different from hype. Hype fades, passion endures. Passion means you're genuinely interested in understanding what you're investing in. You're studying tokenization not because it's trending, but because you see the fundamental shift happening in finance. You're learning about XRP's cross-border payment utility because you understand how it solves real problems. Passionate people don't just chase gains, they chase knowledge. They read white papers, they understand technology, they recognize opportunities before they're obvious. And critically, they maintain enthusiasm through the boring middle, the consolidation phases, the sideways markets, the waiting periods. Passion also shows up in your relationships. People can sense when you're genuinely invested in growth versus when you're just trying to extract value. In business, in friendship, in partnership, passion creates magnetic energy. It attracts the right people and repels the wrong ones. Preparation, your competitive advantage. And then there's preparation. This is where most people fail spectacularly. They have purpose, they have passion, but they're unprepared when opportunity arrives. Preparation means you've done your research. You understand that Bitwise, a $12 billion asset manager, projects XRP could reach between 12.68 and 29.32 by 2030, depending on adoption scenarios, with the max case centered around XRP's role in tokenization and payments, potentially capturing 1 to 2% of a market projected to exceed $10.9 trillion. You're not guessing, you're informed. Preparation means you have capital ready when assets correct. While others panic, you're accumulating. Preparation means your risk management is solid. You're not over leveraged. You're not betting the mortgage on a single trade. You have stop losses. You have diversification. You have a plan for every scenario. Preparation also means emotional preparation. You've done the inner work through mind-taming and emotional control practices so that when volatility hits, you don't spiral. You breathe. You assess. You act from wisdom, not fear. The energy good people seek. Now let's talk about social wealth because this is where everything connects. Good people, whether in business, investing, or personal relationships, are looking for a specific type of energy. They're looking for people who have their fundamentals right. They're looking for grounded confidence, not arrogance, not desperation. Grounded confidence that comes from knowing who you are, what you stand for, and where you're going. When someone has purpose, passion, and preparation, it radiates. You can feel it in how they communicate, how they make decisions, how they show up under pressure. In crypto investing, this looks like someone who can articulate why they're holding XRP through a correction because they understand the ETF catalyst timeline and the tokenization thesis. They're not shaken by short-term noise because they're prepared for volatility. In relationships, this looks like someone who brings stability, vision, and genuine interest. They're not reactive. They're not constantly shifting based on external circumstances. They're anchored. They're looking for emotional mastery. Bitcoin experienced a $500 billion market cap wipe and $16 billion in liquidations during a flash crash. Markets are brutal. Life is volatile. Good people want to be around others who can handle that volatility with grace. Emotional mastery means you're practicing mind taming techniques daily: meditation, breath work, journaling. These aren't soft skills, they're the hardest skills. They determine whether you panic sell or whether you execute your strategy. They determine whether you react defensively in a relationship conflict or whether you respond with clarity and compassion. Research consistently shows that emotional intelligence predicts success better than IQ in virtually every domain. In crypto markets, emotional discipline separates winners from losers. In relationships, emotional maturity separates lasting partnerships from toxic cycles. They're looking for value alignment. Good people seek those who share their values. If you value integrity, preparation, growth, and service, you naturally attract others who value the same. This creates what we call social wealth, a network of high quality relationships built on mutual respect and shared principles. In the crypto space, this means surrounding yourself with people who are building, not just speculating, people who see blockchain technology as infrastructure for the future, not just a get rich quick scheme. People who understand that tokenizing real world assets like commodities, real estate, stocks, and futures contracts onto blockchains provides convenience, lower costs, faster speeds, and fewer intermediaries, and that this fundamental utility is what drives long-term value. In life, this means choosing quality over quantity. 5 deep, authentic relationships with people of character are worth more than 500 superficial connections. So practically, when you commit to purpose, passion, and preparation while practicing mind taming and emotional control, what changes in your financial life? First, your decision making transforms. You stop chasing, you start building. You're not reacting to every headline about Bitcoin hitting new highs or XRP correcting. You have a thesis. You execute systematically. Some analysts point to demand indicators suggesting Bitcoin could reach $200,000 by the end of 2025, with apparent demand growing at roughly 62,000 BTC per month since July, similar to Q4 patterns in 2020, 2021, and 2024 before sharp price moves higher. But whether Bitcoin hits 200K or 80Ks in the next 6 months, your response is the same: execute your plan. You understand that wealth building is about consistency over time, not perfect timing. You're dollar cost averaging, you're learning, you're adapting, and because you're emotionally regulated, you're not stressed about it. This is the energy that creates sustainable wealth in your relationships. Second, the quality of people in your life upgrades. When you embody purpose, passion, and preparation, you become magnetic to others on the same path. Superficial people naturally fall away. Deep, intentional people naturally gravitate toward you. You have better conversations. You form stronger partnerships. Whether it's business collaborations or personal relationships, there's mutual respect, shared vision, and genuine support. This is social wealth, the most valuable asset class that exists. In your daily experience, third, your day-to-day experience of life improves dramatically because you're practicing mind taming through meditation and emotional regulation through breath work and journaling. Your baseline stress decreases, your sleep improves, your focus sharpens, your energy increases. You're not constantly anxious about the markets. You're not doom scrolling. You check your positions once or twice a day with intention, then you live your life. You're present with family, you're engaged in your work, you're building meaningful things, the compound effect. And here's what's powerful: all of this compounds. Within weeks, you notice you're calmer, clearer, more confident. Within months, your portfolio looks different because your decisions are better. Your relationships are deeper. Your opportunities multiply because people trust you and want to work with you. Within a year, your entire life can transform, not because you got lucky on a trade, but because you built the fundamentals. You cultivated purpose, you followed your passion, you prepared thoroughly, and you mastered your emotions. The path forward. So here's your action plan moving forward, regardless of what Bitcoin, XRP, or tokenized assets do in the short term. Daily fundamentals practice. Start every day with 10 to 15 minutes of meditation or breath work. This is non-negotiable. This is how you build the emotional regulation that allows you to think clearly when markets are chaotic or when relationship conflicts arise. Spend 10 minutes clarifying your purpose. Write down your goals, your values, your why. This anchors you when external circumstances get turbulent. Weekly strategic review. Once a week, review your positions, not compulsively, but intentionally. Are they still aligned with your thesis? Has anything fundamentally changed? If you're holding XRP waiting for ETF approvals, are those catalysts still on track? If yes, stay the course. If no, adjust. Review your relationships. Are you investing time in people who elevate you? Are you bringing value to others? Social wealth requires intentional cultivation, just like financial wealth does. Monthly learning and adaptation. Commit to continuous learning. Read, study, understand what's happening with tokenization, with blockchain infrastructure, with market cycles. XRP has already processed more than 1 trillion worth of assets changing hands on its chain, and it's offering on-chain trading of crucial real-world assets for banks and financial institutions like US Treasuries. Understanding this utility is preparation. Learn about emotional intelligence, about attachment theory, about communication. These skills compound into massive advantages over time. Long-term vision maintenance. Keep your eyes on the long-term vision. Whether Bitcoin consolidates at 100K or rallies to 150K, this quarter doesn't change your 5-year plan. Whether XRP ETFs get approved this month or next quarter doesn't change the fundamental trajectory of tokenization. Your purpose, your passion, your preparation, these are what carry you through market cycles and life cycles. These are what attract high quality people. These are what build lasting wealth and genuine wellness. Here's the truth. The markets will always be volatile. Bitcoin will pump and dump. XRP will consolidate and break out. Tokenized assets will transform finance whether you participate or not. But your success, your real lasting success in wealth and in relationships, depends entirely on the energy you cultivate within yourself. Purpose gives you direction, passion gives you fuel, preparation gives you capability, and emotional mastery through mind taming and emotional control gives you the stability to execute consistently, to attract the right people, and to build a life of genuine abundance. The opportunity is massive right now. If tokenization reaches 10% of global GDP by 2030 and the XRP ledger captures just 15% of that market, it could represent $2.46 trillion in value. But opportunity means nothing if you're not prepared to seize it with clarity, confidence, and character. Economic Bay and his team are here to help you build these fundamentals. We don't just teach you about markets, we help you master yourself so you can master the markets and build meaningful relationships that create social wealth. Start today, October 22nd, 2025. Build your purpose. Follow your passion. Prepare thoroughly. Master your emotions. The life you want is on the other side of this commitment.